Hi there, welcome. I am Dr. Yeboah-Assiamah. I am the author of this article, Strong Personalities and Strong Institutions, Mediated by a Strong Third Force, which is published by the Public Organization Review, Springer. This article has been used by many researchers, many instructors of public administration and public sector ethics, both in Africa and then in Europe. Usually I search through many course outlines and I see the article there as one of the main reading materials for students. And there have been many calls for me to do a short video to summarize the article. So this is by way of summary. And I published this article in 2017 after over 8 years of researching into corruption issues, noting the very complicated, complex nature. Corruption is a wicked problem. It is very difficult to understand it, the way and manner it occurs. Before then, I had come up with what I call the transactional model of corruption. I will do a different video on that. But over 8 years of researching into corruption, I realized that no, how we address corruption, we usually adopt a reductionist approach, which will never suffice. So you hear people do say, we need strong institutions, not strong men. And this call was made very popular when Obama visited Ghana. And then in addressing Parliament, he mentioned that Africans do not need strong men, but strong institutions. But that call is a good call, except that institutions do not enforce themselves. Institutions per se may not be enforceable if you don't have the right thinking men and women. And so I argue that, of course, you need strong institutions. You also need strong men and women. So the original title was going to be Strong Men and Strong Institutions, mediated by a Strong Third Force. But the reviewer or the editor said that no, the title appears sexist, so I should also add women. So strong men and women. Okay, to put them together, then I said strong personalities, okay, to cut across. To suggest that we need strong institutions, we also need strong men and women in the fight against corruption. This is because you can have the best of institutions. And by the way, in political science, once we talk of institutions are rules and the enforcement characteristics of rules, norms of behavior, okay, which are structured, repeated human interactions. So the institutions are the regulations, the rules. But you need strong personalities who will enforce the rules as they are. By strong men and women, or by strong personalities, I mean we need people who have integrity, people who have the mindset of public sector ethos, people who are guided by affective political culture, people guided by patriotism, people who are saints, okay, who want the best for the state. And so if they see white, they will say white, they will not call it black. If they see cow, they will not say it's a sheep. They are guided by creating value for the public, moved by Ubuntu philosophy, okay, of a collective societal interest, not sectional or parochial interest. These are what I call strong men and women. So if you have these as public officials, they will enforce the laws as they are to ensure there is value for money, that the public interest, the state interest is not shortchanged for selfish or personal, interest. I argue that even with this too, it's not enough. You need another third angle, which is a strong third force. By strong third force, this refers to civil society who are disinterested in any booty that any public officer is going to get. And so they will stand for the truth. They will stand for the right. They will stand for the generality of the citizens, the public interest. And so this involves the media, involves research community, think tanks, the clergy, traditional authority, organized labor, student groups, trade unions. Okay. The combined effort of all these members of civil society will put pressure on public officers to enforce the institutions, to create public value for the citizens. If you have state assets and then some few politicians who want to sell this among themselves, it will call, or it requires the organized, third force to put pressure on public officers to do the right thing. And the role of the third force in the article, I argue that it serves as a compelling force. It compels public officers to do the right thing, even if they don't want to do so. The argument is that sometimes some public officials are coerced to do things which they may want to do or they may not want to do. Yes, that is it. The political system, there's a black box. You may not see what goes on. Sometimes there's pressure coming from the top that comes to the seat or office of a vulnerable public officer who may be considering one or two things. There's pressure coming on him or her. He may do it willingly or unwillingly. So if we have the third force also, raising their voices against a particular deal, then we give this vulnerable public officer more confidence, more vim, to do the right thing, such that those bigger forces from up there trying to compel him or her, now they will also back off a bit, because the pressure coming from the public is so severe that if they don't take care, they are going to be put to shame. And so if we do that, it helps the entire system. It's just like if you are roasting the maize or plantain, you need to constantly be turning it around, so that you get the best all round. That is the essence of public sector participation, which involves all the activities, actions of civil society, individuals, to influence public or decisions. Because there's always a tendency for people to act in their interest or in the interest of their sections or family, friends, so sectional interest. So if we have the generality of the citizens or societal members raising their voices in every decision, we are going to get the best. So that even if the public officer is doing this under duress, then he will get empirical evidence to tell those who are you see what the public is saying. That was exactly what I was telling you. You see, the people are alarmed. Please, let's do the right thing. And if we continue in that manner, we are always going to get the best out of the value or the resources that we have. Now, few people who have their own interests, they are always going to be let down because they cannot stand the synergy of the third force. So in a nutshell, My framework of corruption control is the corruption control tripod, which rests on three legs. First one, strong personalities, people or public sector officials with integrity who want the right things to be done. They are statesmen. They are guided by public sector ethos. Statesmen and women, they are saints, as Professor Ayi calls it, saints. The second leg is for strong institutions or strong organizations. Organizations need to put in place regulations, okay? Put in place the right mechanisms. If you need, CCTV cameras or where people will clock in so that they will not be late, yes, strong institutions, strong organization. You need to have right, recruitment or process, meritocratic or recruitment. Recruit the people with the right knowledge, skills, and abilities, experiences, so that they will perform the job excellently. You need to put in place periodic ethics training. Put the people through training. Maybe they are not aware of the implications of things that they do. Let them go through ethics training. The go, no-go decision model. We will take them through how to make ethical decisions. Or when they are faced with ethical dilemma, how do they go around this? How do they manage their bosses? So that is what strong institutions, strong organizations put in place these mechanisms. Then, even if you have these two, strong personalities, strong organizations, or strong institutions, that is not enough. The tendency for public officials, to engage in collusion, some kind of network, clandestine network, scratch my back, I scratch your back. Even when there's compelling evidence to prosecute, they can say there is no evidence to prosecute. That is it. So there's a collusion. This calls the third force to put pressure, compelling force. So when you have an organized labor compelling state officials that, hey, you cannot go ahead with this decision. We won't allow you to sell these assets, lest we are going to embark on nationwide or strike. That is what the compelling force. The third force, put pressure on public officers. We can say, you have to prosecute this matter, lest this happens. Then we are putting pressure on public officers to act in the public interest. That is the corruption control tripod. And the title again is Strong Personalities Mediated by what? Strong Third Force. Then you have this, which is more complex way of addressing public sector corruption. That is what? Systems, System is made up of what? Related parts. You can't use just one, say strong institutions, then you are fighting corruption. No. Those who made the institutions will be there, they will be laughing at you because they know some of the loopholes which they can use to have their way through. So you need a systems approach. That is why I said what? Thinking systems. System comprises of related parts. And in this article, it has what? Three parts. These are the related parts. Strong personalities, strong institutions, and then strong third force. If these act together, then we have a more comprehensive way of addressing public sector corruption. Thank you very much.